Open your refrigerator right now. Feel that cold air hit your face. Inside fresh food, cold water, medicine that has not spoiled. You do not think about how it stays cold. You do not think about the truck that brought that food across 1,000 miles without it rotting. You do not think about the soldier in 1944 who received cold blood in a field hospital and survived because of it. That cold, all of it has a patent number. U.S. Patent 2,303,857. Filed the 12th of July 1940. The man who filed it was a black orphan who taught himself to read on the streets of Cincinnati. He never finished school. He never had a mentor. He never had money. He had only a mind that refused to stop working. Frederick McKinley Jones died in 1961. The industry he built is worth $300 billion today. Most people have never heard his name. This is the story of why. Ohio, 1901. Summer. The streets smell of coal dust, horse, and the particular heat of a Midwestern city that has not yet learned to cool itself. An 8-year-old boy stands outside a church with nothing, no parents, no family, no address. His name is Frederick McKinley Jones. His mother is gone. His father, an Irish railroad worker, has just died. The church takes him in temporarily. But there is no permanent place for a black orphan in Cincinnati. In 1901, he learns quickly that the world will not come to him. So he goes to the world. He watches. He listens. He finds machines, engines, motors, anything with moving parts, and he studies them the way other children study nothing. By the time he is 14, he is working as a mechanic, not an apprentice. A mechanic, fixing things grown men cannot figure out. He has attended perhaps 2 years of formal schooling in his entire life. It does not slow him down for a single day. And clear, Jones spends his 20s moving. He works on cars. He works on farm equipment. He teaches himself electrical engineering from textbooks he borrows and reads cover to cover. During World War I, he serves in France, and in the military motor pool, he does what he always does. He fixes things. He improves things. He makes systems work better than he found them. When he returns to America, he settles in Hallock, Minnesota, a small town where he becomes the local mechanic, the local radio technician, the local man you call when nothing else works. He builds the town's first radio transmitter from spare parts. He converts a car engine into a snowmobile before the word snowmobile exists. The people of Hallock know him as the man who can fix anything. Nobody outside Hallock knows him at all. That is about to change. 938 Jones is now working for a small company called Cinema Supplies in Minneapolis. His boss, Joseph Numero, mentions casually one afternoon that a business associate lost an entire shipment of food because the truck had no refrigeration. Perishable goods could not travel long distances without spoiling. It was simply accepted as a fact of life. Jones goes quiet. He does not say much. 3 weeks later, he returns with a working prototype, a compact mechanical refrigeration unit, small enough to mount underneath a truck. It runs on the truck's engine. It maintains consistent temperature, regardless of outside heat or cold. It works on bumpy roads, in rain. Jones and Numero form a new company together. They call it Thermo King. Jones will go on to hold 61 patents in his lifetime. This one, the first, changes everything. 1939, World War II, is at its peak. American military forces are fighting across Europe, the Pacific, and North Africa. And they have a problem nobody is talking about publicly. Blood supplies are spoiling in transit. Plasma needed for battlefield transfusions cannot survive the heat of transport. Medicine is expiring before it reaches field hospitals. Army General contacts Jones directly, not through a company, not through a representative, directly. The situation is urgent. Jones travels to military installations and works. He builds portable refrigeration units. He works through nights. He solves problems on the ground as they appear. Cold blood reaches field hospitals. Medicine survives transport. Food arrives edible. Military historians have documented that Jones's refrigeration technology saved thousands of lives during World War II. The soldiers who survived never knew his name. They just knew the blood was cold when it arrived. After the war, the world changed fast. Supermarkets began replacing corner stores. Food needed to travel further. Medicine needed refrigerated supply chains. The global cold chain refrigerated trucks, ships, warehouses, distribution centers became one of the fastest-growing industries in the world. Thermo King sat at the center of it. The technology worked, the money came, and in boardrooms across America, in press releases, and industry publications and corporate histories, Frederick McKinley Jones was described consistently as a technician, an employee, a mechanic who had been useful. His patent was on file. His name was not in the story. He was the only black man in those rooms. He understood what that meant. The industry he had personally invented was being written around him with a space exactly his shape. In the great and I, Jones kept working through the late 1940s and into the 1950s. He kept inventing. He kept showing up to meetings where his ideas were used and his name was omitted from the minutes. He became the first black member of the American Society of Refrigeration Engineers, an organization that had never admitted a black man. He did not make a speech about it. He sat down and went to work. That was always his answer. Just keep working. Jones died on the 21st of February, 1961. He was 67 years old. He left behind 61 patents, a global industry, and a company operating across multiple continents. He left behind no great wealth, no monuments, no streets named after him, no textbook entries. His obituary ran in the Minneapolis newspaper. It was brief. It mentioned he had worked in refrigeration. It did not mention that he had invented it. In the great and I, 30 years passed. In 1991, President George H.W. Bush awarded Jones the National Medal of Technology posthumously. He became the first black inventor in American history to receive it. In 2007, he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. The global cold chain industry Jones created is today valued at over $300 billion annually. Thermo King, the company he built, operates in over 75 countries. Their website mentions Jones. A small paragraph. Most American history textbooks do not mention him at all. The grocery store you visited this week exists because of him. The hospital pharmacy keeping your medicine cold exists because of him. The soldier who received cold blood in a field hospital in 1944 and came home exists because of him. Jones walked into rooms for decades where his name was never written down. The method is always different. The result is always the same. Genius without power disappears. It does not matter how real the invention is. It does not matter how many lives it saves. If the wrong person holds the pen when history is written, the wrong name ends up on the page. Somewhere right now, someone is opening a refrigerator, pulling out medicine, cold water, food that has not spoiled, with no idea that an 8-year-old orphan standing alone on a Cincinnati street in 1901 with nothing, and no one made that moment possible. His name was Frederick McKinley Jones. Now you know it, for the right reason. If this channel disappears, these stories disappear with it. Some things have already been forgotten once. They should not have to be forgotten twice.